Check ccgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. You can also trade your Pokemon bulk for a new Sun.
How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at the deck in a standard format featuring Lapras GX and some other cool Pokemons in this build. So quad Lapras, or 4 copies of Lapras GX as the main attackers in this build. So 190 HP with the Collect, Blizzard Bird and Ice Beam, weakness on the grass and 2 retreat cost. Very interesting card. So Lapras will also receive very good item card with the next set, which is going to be Aqua Patch, and I feel how Lapras is going to be very powerful. But hey, 190 HP, 1 energy, you can drop 3 cards, 3 energies, you can use Blizzard Burn for like 160, 170 with the Fighting Fury Belt, 180 with the Muscle Band in a Spano format, and you can't use Blizzard Burn your next turn, but with the Escape Rope or Switch and Manaphy on the bench and stuff like that, Pokemon Ranger, you can use it again next turn. And you can also use the Ice Beam GX for like 100 and leave your opponent active Pokemon paralyzed, which is just insane. On the other side, Lapras is the main attacker here. I decide to go with 1 copy of Tauros as the backup attacker simply because we can surprise our opponent with the Rage and Mad Bull GX, which can also be the nightmare for him. And mainly Wobbuffet will also be very broken here with that Bite Barricade. So we can also prevent our opponent from being able to set up. That's pretty much good against decks like Item Locks, a Vileplume and the CGI. Simply because if we have Wobbuffet in the active position, we can play item cards, and then we can simply retreat down to our Lapras and attack, and then our opponent cannot play item cards, and if he managed to knock out that Lapras, we can again just retreat down to the Wobbuffet. So plenty of different options here to play that strategy. 2 copies of Manaphy just in case he found his prize. We really need to have the free retreat with the Aqua Tube, and 2 Shames for the setup. So 11 Pokemon, 37 trainer cards and 12 energies. From the item cards, I'm running pretty usual deck list here. 4 Max Elixirs, 4 Trainers Mails, 4 Ultra Balls, and 4 V Seekers. I couldn't get regular list than this. And in addition to that, I'm running only 1 copy of Escape Rope and 1 copy of Super Road. Escape Rope makes a lot of sense, especially in the mirror matches. But in some other situations, Escape Rope can help us a lot. Simply because we can retreat to the bench our Lapras and simply again be able to use Blizzard Burn for like 160, 170. Super Road on the other side can help us to recycle some of the Pokemon's energies from Disco Pile back into our deck. Of course, Stadium Decision is 2 copies of Rough Seas, so we can heal 3 damage counters per turns. In addition to that, I'm also running 2 copies of Fighting Fury Belts, 2 copies of Float Stones, and 2 copies of Weakness Policies. Weakness Policy is a secret tech in this build versus the grass decks, so Rantus the CGI can be beatable, will be beatable with Weakness Policies, especially because we're not going to have weakness on our Lapras, and that's mainly very important, but still we can also use the advantage of the Rage and Tauros. So I think how with 2 Weakness Policies and Towers we can have a pretty decent matchup against grass decks. 2 Flow Stones mainly for the Wobbuffet, because if we're stuck in the front with the Wobbuffet without Flow Stone, we'll not be able to retreat. So very important to find a Flow Stone. And supporter line is of course 3 Ants for the Drought support with 4 Sycamores. Also Kukui will be here for the extra 2 cards and 20 damage counters. 1 copy of Ninja Boy, so we can simply transfer from our basic Pokemon to another basic Pokemon, mainly for that Tauros play. And of course 1 copy of Lysander and 1 copy of Ranger, featuring 12 basic energies for this build. It's a pretty unique deck and I really like it. There's plenty of options you can do with it. So you just need to play smart. You don't need to be greedy like I am, because when you're greedy and when you want to drop easy prizes against your opponent and be too fast, probably in the late game, he can just simply end you down to like 1 card or 2 cards and you can lose the match. Just like that. So play every deck with tons of cautions and be smart. If you're looking for any of these cards, you can find them of course on ccgcastle.com with TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount on your first purchase. Right now you can also pre-order the upcoming Guardian Raising set. It's available You can find the link in my video description for the store. You can also trade your bulk for the Sun and Moon Guardian Raising booster box, sealed, available worldwide. So why not to check that, because that promotion offer is just available, and it's pretty damn badass because you can get so many good cards that this is just unreal. So many good cards like Double Cores Energy and Tapu Lele. They are like $100 each. That's just insane. So let's move to the game test so you can actually see how this deck works in action. So see you in the game. So for today's video, I'm gonna play with Lapras GX deck. This time, this deck will feature weakness policies, Wobbuffets, and some other cards like a Towers GX, for example. So you can simply strike back to your opponent very hard. So starting with one copy of Manaphy here. Alright. I guess I don't want to spoil my Towers GX right now to my opponent yet. So on the other side it's also gonna be Lapras GX. So it looks like some kind of a mirror match here, but I might be in a slightly advantage just because of the Towers GX, who can actually use the advantage of Mad Bull GX and goes maybe for the one-hit knockout against my opponent. So, starting with the Manaphy will provide definitely for a treat. And there is also a rough season play, which means that right now I have 2 useless cards in my deck. And looks like that's just it for my opponent. Alright, if that's it, I'm gonna Ultra Ball for my Tauros and 1 Water Energy. And I hope I have Super Road. Yes, I do have Super Road, which is just perfectly fine. More than that, we'll grab just for now 1 copy of Wobbuffet, put it down to my bench without set up my Shaman, and Sycamore for like a 7. I could have set up for like a 4, decided not to do it yet. Right now I'm gonna try my luck with the Max Elixir, and unfortunately it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna be good. Ultra Ball for 2 Water Energies, and then I'm gonna grab Shaman. I have like 3 more Max Elixirs left and 6 energies. So I hope I can do my best here with Max Elixirs. If not, at least I can retreat down to my Wobbuffet with a Flowstone and basically pass my turn. 2 Trainer's Mails. It's gonna be for 1 Fighting Fury Belt, that's alright. Another Trainer's Mail maybe for another Max Elixir, that's pretty cool. And right now I basically need to hit at least one of these 2 Max Elixirs. Alright, so there we go, there is 1 energy. Will there be another one with another Max Elixir? We shall see. Yes, it will be. And basically right now all I need to do is retreat down to my Wobbuffet, lock abilities in play, pass my turn, and wait next turn so I can play my energy to my Lapras, and basically Sycamore for 7, retreat to my Lapras, strike for like 160 with Blizzard Burn, and that would be pretty much all for now. Maybe even top deck, you know, Professor's Kukui can allows me maybe to go for the one-hit knockout against my opponent Lapras GX here for like 190. That would be so badass. Unfortunately, without a Beazle hand, my opponent, all he can do is just maybe try to use that collect for like 3 cards. So yeah, Wobbuffet definitely do his job here. The top deck is gonna be just another Lapras. Since I already have 2 Lapras on the bench, I'm gonna just throw out one of these Laprases out. Let's see what we can find with the Trainer's Mail here. Pokemon Ranger sound like a good idea. Why not? But basically more than that, I'm gonna just retreat onto my Lapras. Goes with 1 Ultra Ball, which is gonna be for weakness policy and something like a N. I have only 1 more Max Elixir left, and somehow I don't even feel how Shaman play right now will be good. So I'm gonna do that for the next turn. Right now I'm just gonna use my Blizzard Burn for like 170. And that's gonna be it for now. I mean, I could also use the Ice Beam GX and just leave my opponent Lapras paralyzed, because he can do that right now to me. But since I also have 1 more Escape Rope left in my deck, I can always play my Shaman EX, so I don't really need to worry too much here. Plus I can always heal some damage counters from my Lapras with the rough season play, of course. So let's just be patient for now and see what's gonna be the next move from my opponent. Right now there is one Max Elixir. Alright, I mean, yeah, I should actually play my... Never mind, next turn. Actually this turn. Even if he used that Ice Beam GX, I'm gonna be just perfectly fine, and probably he's gonna do that. I don't see a reason why he wouldn't do that. There is one Abyssal hand for 2 cards. I really don't see a reason why my opponent wouldn't do that. And a Fighting Fury Belt. Alright. So 110 Ice Beam GX, my Lapras is paralyzed. My top deck is gonna be another Water Energy. Alright, so time to attach 1 energy, time to play my Ultra Ball here for Pokemon Ranger, and for something like Water Energy for nothing. So I'm basically looking right now for my Escape Rope. Let's see if we can find Escape Rope here. Yes, we can, so that's pretty nice. More than that, I'm gonna force my opponent basically here to promote something else in the active position. Probably Artillery will be promoted in the front. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, another Lapras. Alright. So I already attached my energy here. I can maybe just go with, you know, V-Seeker for like something like N. But I'm gonna just discard everything here with my Sycamore for 7, mainly because I'm searching for the Super Road and for another Max Elixir. And there is Super Road, so I'm gonna recycle back 2 energies and 1 Tauros. Tauros is gonna be important here. Trainer's Mail for something like Ninja Boy for next turn. Sound like a good idea. 1 Max Elixir is gonna be for 1 energy down to my Lapras. For now, I'm just looking forward to use my Ice Beam GX, and right now I'm gonna paralyze my opponent Lapras. Okay, so right now he actually have 2 different Lapras in play, both with like 110 and 170 damage counters. Of course, he can heal 3 damage counters from each Lapras in play. Not a big deal, especially when I can just knock out his Lapras. Oh, there's a Lysander for my Shaman on the bench. Alright, so still not a big deal as long as I have that energy in my hand. I can just retreat my Shaman onto my bench. But even better, I can maybe just get, you know, Float Stones, so I don't need to waste my energy. There's a Fighting Fury Belt, and it's my turn. So my turn and my top deck is gonna be just Professor Sycamore. Let's see what we can find with Professor Kukui. Nothing special here. Yeah, at least I can use my Blizzard Bird and knocks out his Lapras here without too many problems. On the other side, Blizzard Bird from 170 will not be enough for my opponent for the one-hit knockout against my Lapras GX, so he needs like 180 damage counters for the one-hit knockout. Right now he have only like 170, and that's not good for him at all. Just because I have another Lapras GX sitting on my bench ready for attack. That might be a little bit tricky for my opponent, you know, but just a little bit. And there we go with 1 copy of N. Alright. 1 copy of N. I will draw 4 new cards. There's a Lysander, there's a Ninja Boy, and there is also Water Energy. The good thing about Ninja Boy is simply the fact that you can grab that Tauros from nowhere and surprise your opponent so easily with the one-hit knockout with that Rage for so many damage counters. And this is gonna be 1 Max Elixir. Can he maybe find energy for Palkia? Yes, he can. And another Trainer's Mail. I always have 2 different options here. The first one, of course, is to just grab right now immediately Tauros, put it onto my Lapras, use Rage, go for the knockout against his Lapras, and then next turn I can have my Lapras GX, another one on the bench, with so many damage counters. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna heal some damage counters, of course, and I'm gonna simply retreat down to my Lapras GX, and he decided to concede. I mean, I would just use Ninja Boy right now, put my towers on the damaged Lapras on the bench, knocks out his Lapras at the active position, and next turn I would have one-hit knock against any of his Pokemon with my Tauros, if there would not be something like a Lysander in my opponent hand, and of course energy. So let's move to the another game. Alright, so the second game is just about to start. I'm gonna open a game starting with no basic Pokemon, but same thing will apply for my opponent. So a fairy deck on the other side. Alright, so what that means here, that actually means that I'm gonna discard my weakness policies because I'm not gonna need them. I'm weak on the grass, I'm not weak on the fairy. And basically, for now I have opportunity to set up my Shaman for like only one card. That's also pretty damn bad. But let's see, maybe Ultra Ball is gonna be top deck, maybe not. This is like a nightmare. I just top deck another Shaman here. Oh, this is even worse. This is even worse if you're gonna ask me. For now, I'm just gonna pass my turn. I'm just gonna pass my turn for now. I discarded so many good cards like Shaman, Kukui, Lysander, 2 Sycamores, a VS Seeker for nothing. Alright, so Sycamore for like 7. And there's one Max Elixir. Also, my opponent discarded like Brock's Grid Skyla, Mega Guardi. There's a Spirit Link, and that's gonna be Ultra Ball, probably for Shaman EX. And for the setup, he still needs to find energy for the Geomancy, and it's not, it's a Hoopa EX. Alright. I mean, with the hand right now I have in, with the cards that I actually have right now in my hand, I can't do too much. All I can do is maybe play one Max Elixir, you know, attaching energy to my Shaman and maybe hoping to find something like, let's say, I don't know, Ninja Boy, and then just move Shaman to the Lapras or something, but I simply don't feel comfortable doing that for now. I'm just gonna collect for 3, and that's gonna be perfectly fine, because striking for 230 is not gonna be easy for my opponent, especially after the missing energy attachment. So mainly this is gonna be one collect for 3, and this is like a nightmare for sure. 2 Max Elixirs, 3 energies in my hand, nothing else available. There is first Mega Guardi for my opponent, and even worse, this is the one with the Desperate, which means he can just discard some of the Pokemon from his bench. Okay, it's still a long way to go for my opponent, there is no doubt about that. I'm gonna next turn just discard first his Fairy Garden, of course, and then go with my Blaze the Burn for like 160, and there's a N. There's the N from the skies, and I'm gonna grab 6 new cards, which the new hand looks much better. I can't describe how good this hand looks right now. And there's a Max Elixir, which is gonna be for the Gardevoir on the bench, and 1 Geomancy. So already we have right now plenty of energies available, which means something like a Lysander maybe for me is the best option, so I can maybe just try to cut one of his Mega Guardis. Alright, let's first see what we can find with the Trainer's Mail. Super Road, alright, I like that. I like the fact that I have Super Road available, simply because I'm gonna Ultra Ball for 2 energies here, and I'm gonna grab myself something like a Lapras GX for now, and after that I'm gonna play my Super Road, then I'm gonna recycle back my Shaman, then I'm gonna Max Elixir. I actually made a mistake, but never mind. Trainer's Mail still for VS Seeker. You can see that. You can see that. Even if you've made mistakes sometimes, this is the game where actually luck make more sense. So I have two different options here. The first one is to use my Ice Beam GX and Lysander his Mega Guardian on the bench. Turn after that I can have knockout against him, which I'm actually gonna do. Or I can simply go for like 170, knocking out his Guardi on the bench. Well, let's better do that. For now, Blizzard Burn for like 170. I can grab 2 prize cards here. Plus I can still have that Ice Beam GX. And who knows what else from the prize cards. Wobbuffet and the Max Elixir. Alright. Decided to go a little bit different here for 2 prize cards. I was a little bit greedy. Yeah, I was. But mainly my opponent can goes right now for like 130. Turn after that, who knows, he can maybe even knocks me out. But as long as I can maybe top deck something like the Ultra Ball I can have set up for 6. Still Escape Rope can work for me. Plenty of options there. Yeah, I mean, I think I was a little bit too greedy. I think I should just goes for like his Mega Guardi and with the Brilliant Arrow on the bench and using that Ice Beam GX for like 100, and then turn after that goes for like Blaze the Burn and 160. But it's okay. Still I can even top deck something like Ranger and be able to use Ice Beam GX from nowhere. Which can definitely be a nightmare for my opponent, but I mainly hope that the top deck is gonna be something like Drop Support, V-Seeker, and mainly any card that can allows me to drop some cards. So even Trainer's Mail will be nice. 130 as expected. Hoopa and Shaman discarded. Well, the top deck is just energy card. But still, even that energy is not bad. Because I'm gonna Sky Return my Shaman here. And I'm gonna just promote, you know, my Wobbuffet to my opponent in the active position. So if he wants, he can have 1 prize knockout against him all night long. I really don't worry too much about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies, that's like 180, and there's a V-Seeker which is gonna be for Prox Grid. Alright, so right now it looks like it's time for my opponent to play Prox Grid. I'm gonna have set up for like 5, and theoretically I can even knocks out my opponent Mega Gardevoir here. Because I can strike for like 170 and Professor Kukui can go for like 190. And I can have 2 prize knockout against that Mega Guardi. So I just need plenty of cards here. What he can do here, he can definitely grab Hoopa with the Ultra Ball, and he can even play Hoopa without too many problems because Bite Barricade is not affects Psychic abilities. Okay, so Hoopa EX. Shaman Gardevoir and Mega Gardevoir. Okay. I mean, all I really need here is Max Elixir, Manaphy, and that's it. And then I can go for like knockout against his Mega Gardevoir. Oh, he played Shaman under the Bite Barricade. So that was pretty damn bad mistake for my opponent. Really it was. Alright, so let's see if we can do that. The top deck is a Manaphy, which is first good card here. Shaman set up for like 5. Can I find Max Elixir? Looks like I can't for now, but just for now. I have another opportunity to go here with my Shaman setup. Maybe I can find Ninja Boy here. Maybe not. But what I can do here is I can play my Rough Seas, and mainly I can play my Escape Rope, but I don't know if that's smart. Definitely it's not, so let's just go with the N. Well, didn't find Ninja Boy, didn't find anything that can help me here for the knockout, so that's just gonna be one collect for 3 for now. Still Ninja Boy works. because I still didn't use my GX attack, and I can from nowhere surprise my opponent Mega Guardi. So there is a Mega Turbo, means that he have 4 energies available right now, and that's gonna be a retreat and 1-hit knockout without too many problems. So, not good. Not good at all. I mean, okay, it's still not the end. I can still use Ice Beam GX, so there's plenty of options to goes here. There is a Ninja Boy. There is a Ninja Boy, my friends. Why not? Why not, my friends, go with a Ninja Boy here? Why not? Let's just do that. Let's just do that. Max Elixir. Oh, there we go. There is even 1 more energy for my Lapras. But most importantly here is the fact that I have Ninja Boy available, and I'm gonna just swap my Lapras into my Tauros, and right now I'm just gonna 1-hit knock out my opponent Mega Gardevoir with my Mad Bull GX. And that's definitely gonna be a nightmare for my opponent. So he's losing his Mega Guardi with 4 energies in play. I'm drawing 2 prize cards here, and another Lapras GX, and most importantly, I can go for like 170 next turn. If he really wants to knock out my Mega Guardi with his Mega Guardi or my Tauros, he's gonna need to discard 2 Pokemons from his bench, which is not a big problem for him in this situation. I'm still gonna need something like oh no, there's another Mega Gardevoir. Alright, and Ilima, so both players shuffle their hands. My opponent drops 3 cards, I'm gonna drop 6 cards. That's just insane. That's just insane. So he might be short even here for the knockout, but he definitely needs to go for the knockout with Desperate. So 2 Xerneases are gonna be discarded, and only 1 Mega Guardi will be left on his bench. So that's just insane. For me, time to promote my Lapras and put my Wobbuffet on the bench with the Float Stone. I have energy available. I also have my Escape Rope, and basically, if my opponent have access to the Lysander, for me game is definitely over. But so far I didn't see it. So I'm just gonna go with my, how many, 1, 2, 3, 4 energies, that's like 120. Well, I'm just gonna use my Blaze the Burn, and it's a 50-50 chance here. I mean, I simply cannot do too much here. If he have Lysander, he's obviously the winner. If he don't have the Lysander, I can Escape Rope, even if he decide to retreat, and that's gonna be the knockout. So there's a Trainer's Mail of Hope maybe to reach that Lysander. Unfortunately, he managed to reach the Lysander, so that's gonna be the knockout against my Shaymin EX. But oh boy, what a match. I mean, I was a little bit too greedy here. I should win that match pretty much easier, just Lysandering and knocking out his Mega Guardi earlier on the bench. Decided not to do that, decided always to go in my style so I can make the game be more dramatically here. And yeah, that's gonna be the Lysander. For my Manaphy, of course, retreat. He can even retreat for free. I couldn't do too much here. I didn't have another Shaymin there. But yeah, Brilliant Arrow for like 150, and that's gonna be the knockout. Pretty bad, but it's the GG at the end. Very close game.